where I start officially. So here we go. So hi everyone, my name is Joe Gukaskis and I want to welcome you to today's pre-training number 2, which is we're going to go over the 3 stages to psychic awakening. Now, this particular broadcast is for you if you're feeling stuck on your awakening journey, if you feel like sometimes your awakening process has stalled out a little bit. You might feel unsure about how to move forward, like you're getting these signs, 333s, premonitions, dreams, but you just don't know how to move forward. I know a lot of you are asking, like, what's next? What do I do next? Or what does it mean? And I know for many of you, where you're stuck is that you want to just simply understand your gifts better. All right. So let me know if you could relate to any of that, or maybe put in the comments like where you're at in your particular journey. Are you just now awakening, like you're a complete newbie? Have you been doing this for a while? Maybe you've already watched a few YouTube videos and you're like, oh, what is it? How do you awaken your third eye? Or what does clairvoyance mean? Or what does mediumship mean? Right? Or you might be someone who's already of service. Maybe you already have a tarot card business, or maybe you're a Reiki practitioner, or maybe you're a life coach. Okay. And I know for many of you, like you have your everyday 9 to 5 jobs, like I used to. I used to work in corporate back in the day. Just a little background on me. I actually have a master's degree in quality systems, which is a engineering based degree. So it's funny, I came from that kind of more scientific, logical, to now where I'm like a full-time psychic and psychic teacher. Um, so it's kind of funny, just my journey. But you know, for me, just growing up, I always was gifted as a child. As a child, I didn't see it that way. I thought being gifted was normal. You know, I used to be called wise, like, oh, Joe, you're so wise, or you're an old soul. Let me know if that's you, like you've always been called like an old soul, right? And the thing is, you know, I would say stuff would come out of my mouth when I was younger, and the adults would look at me. I remember my dad one time telling the story about someone that used to work for him, right? This was back when he used to work. And my dad was just telling the story, and he's difficult to work with. He has problems showing up on time. And there I was. I wasn't even a teenager, right? But just what came out of my mouth was like, oh, he's probably having marriage problems at home, right? And like, what kid says that? You know what I mean? But that's what came out of my mouth. And I remember my dad looking at me. He's like, how did you know? Like, my dad didn't even say anything about marriage problems at home. And my dad's like, yeah, as a matter of fact, he is having problems at home. Okay. So you could say that as a child, that was a form of higher knowing, some kind of higher intuition. Maybe I felt something about all that, right? But that was kind of my thing. I've always just been a knower. The other thing for me, and tell me if you could relate to this, is that I would get overwhelmed with a lot of other people's energies. Okay. And you know, if you're an empath, go to type in empath if you could relate to that. Maybe you're a highly sensitive individual. I definitely was that growing up. And you know, for me, if someone was having a bad day, guess who else was having a bad day right along with them? Because I was feeling everything that they were going through, right? I was having a bad day too. And you know, for the longest time, I couldn't it was hard for me to figure out, like, when other people are having such a bad day, why do I have a bad day too, right? And it's because of being just sensitive to energy in that way. And I see a few of you are talking about, yes, empath. Okay. And here's the thing with empaths are feeling energy. Okay. And empaths also absorb energy. Okay. And when we get to the challenge on day 1 and day 2, I'm going to show you how you could release all that so you don't have to just keep absorbing and keep holding on to other people's energies. So yeah, that's also part of my thing. And And one more thing I just want to share with you guys is that um, I actually had the hardest time seeing auras, seeing energy, seeing beings or spirit guides growing up. Like I do remember seeing in my book, I tell the story of like I woke up at 2 in the morning, right? And I think I was like 10 years old or something like that. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I was laying in bed. I looked up at the ceiling and I saw this ball of energy like up on my ceiling. And I was looking at that ball of light and, I was like, what is that? I look out my window. I was like, there's no cars driving by. It's not from anyone's headlights, right? There were no lights, other lights going on in the room, just this weird glow of light on the ceiling. And then, moments later that disappeared and I was just left with this message. I was like, oh, your grandmother died, right? And mind you, I was a little kid. I was like, what the hell was that? Where did that message come from? I remember just being scared. I was like, oh, I just want to try to ignore it. And then what happens a day later, or that morning, I mean, my dad wakes up, we all wake up, and my dad comes to me, he's like, hey, bad news. Your grandma passed away last night. Okay. But I'll tell you, like after that, I didn't get a lot of visions like that anymore. It was hard for me to see energy. Um, I guess subconsciously at the time, I wanted it to go away. I wanted to block it, right? So as I grew older, it was actually hard for me. I had a hard time seeing energy clairvoyantly, right? Now, tomorrow, you're going to see me in action. I'm going to be reading the public, so I invite you to join that. Um, and that's my thing. I read clairvoyantly mostly. I also, hear messages. It's more of a form of clairaudience. I just I still tap into my higher knowing to get the meaning of the messages that come through. And sometimes I'll hear spirit guides. Like my job when I'm reading is just to be a clear and open channel as possible. Okay. Let me just catch up on some comments here. Seeing, okay, some of you see auras like Justin. Brittany says stuck in my awakening. I see a bunch of you saying picking up on energies, empaths. Okay, great. So I'm glad everyone is sharing because what I want y'all to realize is that unlike here in the San Francisco Bay Area, literally I could drive to 6 different psychic training centers around here. It's like no joke. But I know for many of you, like if you're up in, like I have one student, she's like in some far corner of Canada, right? It's not even near any major city. I know many of you are like in the Midwest. You're like, there's not even a psychic you could go to nearby to get a reading. I have one student in Alaska, like she has a hard time because people look at her like she's crazy and all of that, right? So, just know that you're not the only one. Okay. So I'm glad everyone is sharing. Let's see. And yeah, see a lot of correspondence going on here now. All right. So all told, what I want to talk about today, now that I gave you some background information, is that I want to cover the 3 stages to psychic awakening. All right. And what you're going to learn today is what are the different stages, right? How to identify what stage in particular that you're at and how to move forward more effectively to the next stage. Okay. And I'll tell you how it all fits in with the challenge coming up, which by the way, save the date for October 10th. Actually, I forgot to add the link and the date. Let me do that real quick. And let me just pin this post. That way people can find it easily. Okay. Yeah, so if you haven't signed up yet, there's a link there for you to sign up. If you have already signed up, actually just go ahead and type in the comments, already signed up. Let me know. Just give me an idea of who's already ready. And if you have signed up, remember to save the date. Okay, October 10th, we go live for the kickoff at noon Pacific, the exact same time that we're on today. And then on Monday through Thursday, so the rest of the 5 days, we're going to go on in the evenings live. So it's going to be 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. And I'll teach you a new tool every single day. And I see Justin already signed up. Brittany signed up. All right. And I know there's like a 20-second delay from when I say things to when you guys actually get a chance to type. All right, so exciting. I'm glad for those of you that signed up. Awesome. I'm excited. I'm just really excited to be doing this live. And I don't do this live very often, by the way. It's just a lot of energy. It's a lot of work in the background. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the background to do one of these live events as opposed to just record everything and let people watch it when they watch it, right? So I really mean it when I say that I don't do this very often. So you definitely want to save the date and show up, okay? So yeah, awesome. Travis, Katie, all signed up. Oh, we have 2 Travises. Awesome. Yeah. All right, great. It's cool to see some males here. Yeah, mostly I have a lot of females that join my program. So on occasion, we'll get men signing up here too. Let me just answer this question real quick, and I will do a Q&A at the end today, by the way, too. But let me just answer this question: is it true that high-pitched ringing in your ears is due to spirits trying to talk to you? Yes. The answer is yes, Blaze. And the reason why is because spirit vibrates a lot more quickly than we do in the physical realm. And so when spirit is trying to communicate with you, it comes across like literally a high pitch because they're vibrating so quickly, right? Frequency wise, that's what I mean. So what you can do is you could say to whoever that spirit guide is, you'd be like, yo, can you lower your vibration a bit? If you don't, I won't be able to understand you. Okay. So a lot of times spirit doesn't know any better, right? And they're just vibrating real quick. And it's like, well, you could keep doing that, but I won't be able to understand you if you keep trying to communicate with me in that way. All right. So you can work with spirit, and yes, Blaze, sometimes it does hurt. And I used to live near a hospital, by the way, and like people are dying every day in a hospital, right? So I literally live like 2-3 blocks away from a hospital at one point, and every freaking night, right? I was about to go to bed, my ears would start ringing like crazy, and it would get annoying, right? And yes, sometimes they would hurt, but I just got to the point, I'm like, that's so annoying. So I had to just send a signal out to the world of spirit. I'm like, no vacancy in here. Kind of like a hotel, right? No vacancy. Don't even try coming in. But you learn that. That's something that I teach in my more advanced training. All right, so let's get into the mini lecture, the pre-training for today. Let's see. All right, let me ask you guys some questions here. Who here feels a higher calling for their gifts? All right, and I'm just curious, like before you joined this program or this particular, or signed up for the challenge, even before you signed up, you might not know what's going on with your gifts, but how many of you feel a higher calling for it? All right, and just type in higher calling. I'm always curious who feels a higher calling, because that's definitely was the case for me. I had no idea, like I didn't even want to be a professional psychic. Like I said, I have a master's degree. But I always, I growing up, or in my development, I mean, I'm a certified life coach. I wanted to study different healing modalities. I even studied different religions, right? And little did I know it was because I had a higher calling, okay? Go ahead and type in, like, how many of you feel a calling to help others heal? Right? Maybe you're already a healer. Maybe you're already a Reiki practitioner. I know if you're like me, and going to type in the word healer, right? Just type in the word healer if you feel a higher calling to want to help others heal. For me, I actually come from a lineage. My grandmother was a healer. My great-grandmother was a healer. I found that out just last year, actually. When I went to the Philippines, come to find out, a whole bunch of my cousins are healers. It's so crazy. So I see a bunch of you saying, yes, healer, yes, higher calling. you know, if you're a nurse or a doctor or you're in like the like a service industry like that, you might be a healer in that way too. And one more question is, who here feels like they're on some kind of greater mission, right? And you feel like your gifts are just part of that. Okay. And just type in the word mission. You feel like you have a greater mission. And I've had many students who've come my way who their mission is like global. They're like, I'm here to heal all of humanity. Or if you're like me, for some reason, I'm like, I need to write a book. I don't know what the hell I'm going to write about, but my message needs to get out to the masses, right? And I had no idea why, but I'm like, who am I to be doing that? But I just felt like this greater calling, right? And yes, Katie, same here. I was afraid of it. I had this mission, and I kept asking myself, like, who am I to do this, right? Which, by the way, if you don't have a copy of my book yet, this is my book, Journey of the Awakened Psychic. And all members of the Unleash Challenge will get a free e-copy, not my actual copy. If you want my actual copy, you could get one on Amazon, okay? So I see a bunch of people saying mission. Yeah, okay. Awesome. Justin said, Justin Sinclair McDermott, mission, been on standby. I can totally relate to that. All right. Let's see. Okay, so a bunch of you have a greater mission. Now, one of the reasons why I ask this, and just to put in perspective for you all, okay, especially if you feel a higher calling, especially if you feel a greater mission, if you feel like there's something greater, like you want to help heal others. If you're like me, it could actually be overwhelming. All right, you feel like, oh my God, there's something more to this, but I feel like such a beginner still. Like, who am I to write a book? Who am I to be a savior to humanity, right? But I feel like I'm still lost, I'm confused, I'm stuck, okay? So this is where the 3 stages come in. So let's get to the first stage, which, by the way, thank you for sharing, everyone, okay? Thank you for sharing, because I know it's not easy to always say like, oh yeah, I have this greater mission, especially if you might be at one of these beginner stages or beginning stages here. So let's talk about the first stage. And as I go, just kind of say, yep, I could totally relate to that, or this is how it is for me. First stage is what I call the seeing signs stage. Okay, so first stage, stage number 1, is seeing signs stage. So what do I mean by this? The seeing signs stage means you're seeing signs like 333, 444, 777, 1111, 1212, right? Actually, funny thing, the Unleash Challenge will launch on 10/10, right? So let me know if this is you. You start seeing signs like that, or maybe you get premonitions of things that are going to happen. And what I mean by that, it could be something as simple as you think of someone, and 5 minutes later they text you, and you're like, whoa, what is that? Right? You might get forewarnings of things that will happen, and then next thing you know, they happen, right? I can't tell you how many times, even for me to this day, like, I'm about to drive on the freeway, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope, there's not some kind of accident, right? And I hate thinking those things, but what ends up happening is like, I'll get on the freeway, and then next thing you know, it's not me that gets in the accident, but like I'll see like a near miss, or like someone's pulled off on the side of the road, a big old car wreck, and I'm like, ugh. Right? For some of you, it might be downloads. And Blaze says deja vu, right? Very true. But downloads, like you just get downloads of information and you're like, where did that come from? How could I know that? Okay. And then for others of you, some of your signs might be in the form of just knowing. You just know things before they happen. Right? And at this stage, whether you get the 333s, premonitions, forewarnings, downloads, deja vu, what you're saying at stage 1, the seeing signs stage, is you're saying stuff like, that's weird. Okay. Another thing for me is street lights would always turn off for me. Right, I'll be walking underneath or near a street light. It doesn't matter where I was. It could be at home. I used to live in San Diego. I used to live in North Carolina. I used to live in Naples, Italy, and all over the world. Literally, it didn't matter where. Street lights would turn off for me, and I was like, "That's weird." Right? So you're now at the stage when you're still saying stuff like, "That's weird," and you also might be a little bit oblivious at first at the stage, but when they happen enough times, okay, then you get on to the next stage, right? But before I talk about that, the next stage, let me just catch up on comments here. Blaze says lights flicker everywhere. Justin says happened to me once on the highway. We're gonna see an accident. Yep. Kathy's like, yep, knowing. Brittany, I get all those signs. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 a lot. Blaze says, I don't see numbers. You're lucky. Actually, for me, I don't see numbers anymore either, but I'll talk about why. Ashley, feathers. Yeah, that's a big thing. I've had many students talk about feathers, coins that appear out of nowhere, numbers and feathers. Yes. Okay, great. So that's stage one, you guys. And again, one of the characteristics is you're still saying stuff like, oh, that's weird. All right. Now, next stage, stage two. You've seen these signs enough times. And now at stage two, this is where you're asking yourself, what does that mean? Okay. So this is the what does it mean stage. So again, when those things happen enough times, you're seeing 333 literally 10,000 times. Okay. You're seeing feathers everywhere you go. And I had one student, he's like, there are no birds where I live, but I keep seeing feathers. I'm like, yeah, it happens. And so you're asking yourself, okay, what does this mean? And if you're like me, like when the street lights would turn off all the time, I started asking myself, is that a spirit guide? Or, I remember specifically asking again and again, it's like, is that my grandmother? Right? So it might start off as a sign, but now you're asking a different kind of question rather than like, whoa, that's weird. You're starting to ask like, is there some greater meaning to it all? Is there something in the world of spirit, right? And by the way, when I say spirit, that's my catch-all term for it. Could be from the universe, it could be from source, it could be from your spirit guides, it could be from angels, ascended masters, your dead relatives. Like I just say spirit, okay? But at this stage, you start questioning, and then you might. Kathy's like, I do that all the time. I Google stuff all the time. Actually, that's exactly what I was just gonna say here, Kathy. At this stage, you start exploring your gifts, and you might go and Google. You might go on YouTube, right? You start reading books. I know for me, like I bought, I don't know, 4 or 5 books on the subject. I bought a bunch of CDs. This tells you how old I am when we didn't have stuff on downloadable stuff, right? Like I bought CDs back in the day. And I remember just listening to a bunch of meditations, right? And another thing is that at this stage, stage two, the what does it mean stage, this is where you start looking stuff up like what is a medium? What is a clairvoyant? What is a clairsentient? What is a clairaudient? What is a channeler? What does that mean? Right? And you're wondering, you're questioning, like, am I a psychic? Like, I remember for me, even just using the word psychic was hard for me to even say out loud. Like, how many of you could relate to that? Ashley's like, bought books, LOL. Yeah, I bought a bunch of books. Actually, I don't have them here in this room, but I've had books all over the place before. So yeah, dragonflies. That's actually another thing for me too, Blaze. So yeah, at this stage, one of the things is that it's characterized by a lot of doubt. Okay, you're reading all this stuff, this new stuff, but you're still doubtful. You're still I know many of you are overwhelmed. Okay. It's a little confusing. And for some of you, you might even just be in denial, right? Let me know if you can relate to any of these. Um, and then for some of you, like you are getting the signs and it's just so random, but you don't have confidence in your gifts yet. You don't have the confidence yet to say, huh, I must be gifted. And I've had many people say, oh, I feel stuck in the spiritual closet. And, this might, maybe some of you could relate to this, but for many of you, you're living in duality. So what do I mean by duality? Well, in one realm, right? Like the spirit world is really real to you. But the other side is like you dare not talk to anyone about it because you don't want people thinking you're crazy. Right? So it's like you're living in two worlds. So let me know if you could relate to that. Just catching up on comments. Okay. Kathy's, I watched the show Medium, always said I want to be able to do that. Blaze, yes, I thought I was losing my mind. The first time I heard a voice, took myself straight to the doctor. Yeah. Blaze, all this started between 6 and 11. I think I blocked it at 18 when my sister used me as a party trick. Oh my gosh, Blaze, that's funny. Justin, opposite for me, Joe. Actually, I've wanted to reach a point where I could professionally call myself psychic or medium and prove it so as to not look like a fool. Just trying to hold a title since I do know it in my heart, but haven't scratched the surface yet. Ashley's definitely can relate. All right. So again, you guys, thanks for sharing. Okay. So yeah, the doubt, overwhelm, confusion, the confidence, like this is very characteristic of this stage. Another characteristic of stage 2, and let me know if this is you, you probably get a lot of headaches at this stage. I know for many, when you start opening your third eye, you could literally feel a buzzing in your third eye. And when you go through the challenge, don't be surprised, right? Because on day 4 of the challenge is when we do third eye activation day. And many students will be like, oh my God, I feel this buzzing on my third eye. Is that normal? I'm like, yes, it actually is normal. Okay. Part of the reason for headaches, I know for me, I used to feel a lot up here. And it's because your crown chakra is activating. Okay. Crown chakra is all about your higher knowing. I remember when I was first developing my teacher back in the day, Jenny, I was like, I feel this thing on the side of my head for some reason. And she looked at the side of my head. She goes, oh, you have a barnacle on the side of your head. And then she moved on. I'm like, wait, what does that mean, right? And that's yet another thing. Like you're asking, what does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? So many of you are saying headaches, migraines, I live in headache land and feeling my third eye. Yes, okay. So again, these are all signs of you being in stage 2, okay? And then the last thing about stage 2 is that you're getting all these. Right? You're getting all this and you're sitting there wondering, am I crazy? Okay. It's like, is this normal? Am I crazy? Like, what's going on? Is this real? Okay. And so you're second guessing if any of this is even real. All right. So that's stage 2, you guys. So stage 1 is the seeing signs stage, or just seeing signs like 333s or premonitions, but you're still passing it off as coincidence. You're just saying, that's weird, right? Stage 2 is the what it doesn't mean stage, meaning it happens enough times. Now you're asking yourself, what does it mean? Now, stage 3, okay? Awesome. Seeing the comments coming in. Stage 3. Stage 3 is when you start accepting and allowing. All right. So this is what I call the accepting and allowing stage. Now, I could share with you that for me, at this stage, I was getting so many signs. It was undeniable what was happening. And I told the story actually in my book where it's many years ago. I want to say it's like over 10 years ago now. I was seeing a therapist, right? Because I had just broken up and I needed to see a therapist. I wanted to get over the breakup. And I remember the therapist, we were talking about fathers, right? And what was your relationship like with your father? How does it affect your relation, who you are in a relationship, right? So we were talking about fathers, and then next thing you know, above her head, this glow of light, just like when I was younger, this glow of light appeared above her head, and I was like, "Do you not see that?" My body froze, and I couldn't even hear my therapist talk anymore. She sounded like the Charlie Brown commercials, mwah mwah mwah, and I was just staring at this glow of light above her head, and next thing you know, I just got this message, this kind of download out of nowhere, and just all of a sudden popped out of my mouth was like, what was your relationship with your father? And my therapist just looked at me and she goes, well, it wasn't the greatest, but this is why I became a therapist, right? And then the light was still swirling up above her head. It even got a little bit bigger. And I said, I don't know why, but I just feel this need to tell you your father loves you. And my therapist, she's trying to stay professional, right? But a tear started flowing down her eye. And then, as soon as that transmission, I'll just call it a transmission, as soon as that transmission was delivered, the glow of light disappeared. And then I could hear her more clearly again. My body could move again, right? But it was from that point forward, I was like, what the hell was that? And it was at that stage, I was like, I need answers. Because it was scary at the time, right? And I didn't know who to turn to. And so when I talk about stage three, the accepting and allowing stage, sure, I was starting to accept the fact, like, oh yeah, there's definitely something more to this, but I'll tell you guys, it didn't feel good at the time. It was actually kind of scary, right? And I remember at the time, I'm like, I need some kind of training. But not only that, unlike stage two, or like, am I crazy, right? Stage three, you actually need the answer to that question. Am I crazy? Or is this real? Right? And so this is where you're actually looking for validation, right? So let me know if you can relate to anything I've shared about stage three so far. Like, things are undeniable. Maybe you're looking for the training already. Maybe that's why you signed up for the challenge. And I'll tell you also at this stage for me, I started going to meetups, right? This one guy, when I used to live in San Diego, had a meetup and he just did readings for free for the public, right? He's like, come in for a reading. You have a chance at a reading. But really, what he was doing was he was also training a group of student psychics off to the side. So at first, I came in for the reading, but I was like, I want to learn, you know? So maybe that's you. You started going to meetups, or maybe you joined Facebook groups, right? Facebook groups like my group. And again, but this was back in the day before Facebook groups were even popular. So it tells you, a little bit of how old I am. Um, and the more you get exposed to it, the more you're like, this is real, right? You're starting to get more answers. When you start accepting, okay, again, it might not feel good in the moment, but you start to become more at peace about it all, okay? And at this stage, it's really common. You've heard the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, okay? And who knows, right? Maybe I'm that for you, okay? For me, I don't believe that there are coincidences in the universe, like there's no accidents in the universe, right? Things open up for people when they open up. And let me tell you, I've been teaching for, I don't know, since, how long has it been? Well, put it this way, I've been advertising on Facebook at least for the last 3 years now, right? But how is it that maybe just now you're just seeing my ads, right? So when I talk about when the student's ready, the teacher appears, there's also an energy to it all. There's like unfolding of the divine timing of it all. Okay. And so let me just catch up on comments real quick. Brittany says, I feel like I'm at the beginning of stage 3. I feel less overwhelmed and I'm accepting it, but still feel stuck as to why I signed up for your training. Yes, Brittany, totally get it. Okay. So, at this stage, you don't always know why. You still feel doubtful, but you do believe and you're starting to accept there's something much, much more to it all. Okay. And Carlola Hill says, looking for training can feel so much of everyone. I isolated myself. There is no denying. Yeah, Carlola, that's so common as well for people at this stage, is that you want to try to open up, but when you do, it's overwhelming. Okay. And one of the things I teach, by the way, on day 3 of the challenge is all about psychic protection so that you don't get bombarded with people's energies. Okay. Rather than getting in your space, you keep that energy out of your space, right? So that's definitely something you'll learn. Ashley said, doubtful at first, yes, but starting to accept, and isolation is a must sometimes for me, LOL. Yes. All right, so you guys, those are the 3 stages. All right, so let me just summarize real quick. The seeing signs stage is stage 1. Stage 2 is you're at the what does it mean stage, and then stage 3 is you're starting to accept and allow it. Okay. Now, let me talk about one more stage here, and I'm just looking at the time. I like to keep these at 1 hour, so let me just describe a couple more things, and then I'll open up for a Q&A too. Okay, you guys? So one more stage beyond all this, right, is I call it the beyond stage. And this is after, you start accepting, you start getting into the training, right? This is where you could actually now start using your gifts, right? And I'm talking about using your gifts to help heal others. Now, at the top, one of the questions I asked you guys was like, how many people feel a higher calling, right? How many of you feel like you're on a greater mission? How many of you want to use your gifts to help heal others? Well, once you get through stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, this next stage, which I call the beyond stage, this is where you actually start using your gifts to help heal others. And what's really great about this stage is that rather than having random psychic experiences, right, like the random 333s, the random dreams, random premonitions that come out of nowhere, what if you can instead turn on and off your gifts like a light switch? All right. So this is I call this being at a level of seniority with your gifts. All right. So go ahead and type in the word seniority or type in the word light switch if that interests you. Like, you want to use your gifts when you want. You want to be in control of your gifts rather than having your gifts be in control of you. Right? So this is what I call the beyond stage. So how cool would that be to be at that stage? And what else is great at this stage is what if you could start using your gifts to start reading stuff like past lives? Like, how many of you want to learn how to read a past life? Or how to read your chakras, how to heal your chakras, or how to communicate with your spirit guides more effectively when you want, right? It's like, if you need an answer, call in Archangel Michael and then have that conversation with Archangel Michael when you want. Okay. Akashic records. I know many people come in from some kind of Akashic record training, right? And what's great about Akashic records, it's a great way to get your lessons that you've learned from this lifetime, past lives. You can learn about what's your next steps. When you're in the beyond stage, this is where you could channel healing energy, right? And I know many of you want to be channelers. Just quick story. When I wrote my book, right? Literally, my experience was like I was just sitting at the keyboard and my fingers were practically moving by themselves, right? And I'll tell you, it took me a while to work on the outline. That part took a while. But once I got my outline ready, the actual writing of the book was easy. And like I said, it was almost like I was automatic writing. Within 5 days, you guys, within 5 days, this whole book was written in 5 days. Okay. So talking about being able to use your gifts when you want in the beyond stage, what if you could use it to channel your messages, right? When you want. How cool would that be? And let me tell you guys, like this outline for today's lecture, same thing. I just kind of automatic write. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to talk about till like 5 minutes before I go live. Do y'all get that? Okay. So tell me if that sounds neat to you, like channeling. um, so this is what I mean by the beyond stage, you guys. Okay, it's like a whole other magical world when you could get beyond stage one, where it's all coincidental. Where you could get beyond stage two, where you're like, oh, that's weird. And even when you could get beyond stage three, where you're starting to accept it, but you don't know what to do next. Okay. So let me check in with you guys. Is all this making sense so far? Just type in making sense. Okay, like the 3 stages, how it all fits in, how it fits into your awakening. Maybe type in what stage you're at. Are you at stage one? Are you at stage two, stage three? Maybe you're a little bit of all three. Maybe you're in between stage two and three. And let me just catch up on comments real quick. A bunch of you are like light switch. Blaze said, OMG, I just talked to a friend before this video about doing past lives. No coincidence, Blaze, like I told you. Seniority, light switch, bunch of you, seniority. Justin says, yes, hand me light switch, please. Kathy wanted to learn more energy techniques and teachers are not in my area. Yep, so common. Okay, a bunch of you like making sense. Joe, I just bought a deck of tarot and start reading. Awesome. Bunch of you saying stage three, stage one and two. In between stages, light switch, stage 2 and 3, light switch. Okay, awesome, you guys. And thanks for participating, you guys. Because this is what makes it more real. Like, even though we're just talking and I'm doing most of the talking, you guys are just typing. But even that, just know that every time you type something, it's like you're sending a psychic signal out to the universe as if to say, hey, universe, this is what I want. This is who I am. Okay? So it's one thing to just keep it to yourself and be stuck in the psychic closet. But just know that every time, even if you're just typing 1 or 2 words, right, participating, this is where growth happens, you guys. And guess what? This is still even pre-training number 2. We haven't even got to the real challenge yet. Amanda, I missed quite a bit, but I'm here. I will watch the replay. Yeah, replay will be immediately available after. Kate, pick up so much energy, stay in my house for a couple of days to recover. Yes, very common. Just quick story about that. One of my students was a doctor, medical doctor, and she would see patients all day long. And it's funny because on the weekend she's able to relax, recuperate. Monday she goes in, she's like, I'm doing great. But Tuesday roll around, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. By Friday comes around, seeing sick patients all the time, people's problems, the staff. By the time Friday would roll around, she'd be like, oh my God. She just didn't want to be around people. She got to the point, she's like, I don't even know who I am anymore. Right? That's how filled in with other people's energy she was at. So that's definitely another sign of stage 3. You're just so overwhelmed, but you're gifted. And she was such an empath as well. She wanted to help people, right? That's why she became a doctor healer in the first place. But she joined my program because she wanted to get to the beyond stage, right? She wanted to get beyond all that. Yeah, Katie's like wiped out, can't with people. Teresa, I get an overload of emotions that I just feel overwhelmed. Yes. Okay. So, what does this all have to do with the Unleash challenge? Well, let's just jump right into that. Starting on 10/10, you guys, right? On October 10th, noon Pacific, we're going to, that's when the official kickoff of the Unleash Your Psychic Gifts challenge happens. It's a 5-day challenge. And the goal of this really is to get you out of stage 2, get you into stage 3, and then introduce you to what the beyond stage looks and feels like. Okay? Because here's the deal. A lot of you have said to me, and maybe not this group in particular, but they're like, Joe, do you have anything beyond the book where I could just read about it? Okay? And here's the deal, you guys. It's one thing to read about things. For example, it's one thing to just learn how to read or read about learning how to ride a bike, right? And you could sit there and it's like, oh, I read about learning how to ride a bike. I know how to ride a bike. But do you really know how to ride a bike just from reading about it? Okay. Where does the true validation happen, you guys? The true validation happens when you actually get on the bike and start riding, right? And if you're a beginner rider of a bike, just like a kid, you might fall off a few times. But what do kids do? They get right back up. Their elbow or knee might be all scraped up, but they get right back on and they start riding. Okay? So that's what the 5-day challenge is all about, right? Get on the bike, get a taste of what it might be to ride. You might fall off the bike day 1 or day 2, even day 3 of the challenge, even day 4 when, it's third eye activation day. But you know what? No one is expecting you to be perfect. Okay? Which, by the way, in pre-training number 1, if you haven't watched that yet, I invite you to watch that. It's in the group, and we'll be making it more organized, by the way, you guys, starting next week. Okay. Right now we're still in the pre-training stage. People are still coming in, so I don't want to do anything too formal yet, while people are still joining. So pardon the construction if you see a bunch of stuff in the group. But for the pre-training number 1 was the 3 blocks to your gifts, right? 3 reasons why your psychic gifts are blocked. So if you haven't watched that, definitely catch up on that. But yeah, stage, for pre-training 2, right? By introducing you to the stages, it just gives you a context of where the Unleash challenge comes in. So I don't want you thinking, oh yeah, by day 5, I'm going to be a super psychic by then. It's like, well, no, you get introduced to it so you can start accepting. Now, for those of you who are interested in the beyond stage, that's where my more advanced training comes in, okay? Which, by the way, I do have what I call the Elevate Your Psychic Gifts program, and I'll talk more about this later. But the Elevate Your Psychic Gifts program, that's where you get introduced to what I call my Psychic Awakening Mastery Method. And this is where you learn all about reading mastery. So when I talk about how to read past lives and chakras and spirit guides like that, that's all part of reading mastery. I teach karma-free healing mastery. So my definition of karma-free healing is when you could heal someone without giving away your life force energy. Because there's so many healers out there. Like, yeah, they're doing these great healings, but when you look at them, they're all depleted, they're worn out. I remember seeing this one healer. She was like massively overweight. And when I looked at her energy, I was like, oh my God, she's so full of other people's energies. And my sense with her was the way she was healing was like she might have been one of those hands-on healers, and like she's absorbing everyone else's energy, right? And when you absorb other people's energies like that, like literally you're holding on to it. So how will that manifest? Will it manifest in weight gain, right? And unfortunately, I've actually seen a lot of overweight healers out there, okay? So when I talk about karma-free healing, like don't be absorbing other people's energies to heal them. And on the other hand, don't also use your own life force. Does that make sense? Like be a clean healer. So that's what I teach as well. I also teach about spirit guide communications mastery and manifesting mastery, where you manifest the psychic's way. Okay. And what I mean by that is like, what if you could use your spirit guides to help you manifest things? All right. So when you get to that stage, that stuff is really exciting. That's when you really know you have mastery over your gifts. All right. So let me see. Let me just check back in my bullet points here. All right. So let me just summarize, okay? And then I'll stay on for maybe about a few minutes here to do a Q&A. If anyone has any questions about your gifts, the challenge, literally you could ask me about anything. I'll stay on till I answer the questions, okay? But to summarize today, so what are the three stages we talked about today? First stage is the seeing signs stage, where you're just seeing stuff like 333, 777. You're saying stuff like, oh, that's weird. Y'all hear that crow? Look, talking about signs, right? When a crow comes by and crows, I don't know if my microphone picked that up. It's like, oh, what is that? Must be a sign. And no coincidence in the universe. So that's stage one. Thanks, Crow, for interjecting there. Stage two is the what does it mean stage, right? So that crow is like, oh, what that crow just did its thing. What is that crow trying to tell us, right? And then stage three is when it happens enough times, you just start accepting and allowing it. It might not feel good, but now you're ready for like, I'm ready to learn how to hone my gifts. I'm ready to figure this out. I'm looking for some validation. Okay. Um, and then, beyond that, once you get through these stages, the beyond stage, that's what the challenge coming up is all about, to help you get into the beyond stage where you could start using your gifts to help heal others, right? And like I asked at the top, many of you have a greater mission. Many of you want to help people. Many of you have a higher calling, right? That's what the beyond stage is all about. All right, so any questions at all? And I invite you now to go ahead and type in your questions or maybe some comments. Are you excited about the challenge coming up? What did you learn today? Like, I'd love to get your feedback. And so many, like literally, I don't know how many comments are here now. I want to say there's hundreds of comments. If I missed your comment, feel free to copy paste. Feel free to copy paste, and I'm opening it up for a Q&A now. Okay. So let me start with Justin here. In joining this group and everything, I've been seeing more stuff around my house. Last night I saw the wallpaper in my kitchen warp like it was coming off the wall. I'm not going to ask what that's about. Just wanted to see how I'm opening up thus far. Yeah. Very common, Justin. The thing with psychics, and this might be a more advanced concept, but the thing with psychics is we live in a 3D world, okay? The thing with psychics is psychics can sense beyond 3D in the no space, no time spirit world. And I do find that when you start getting into the no space, beyond space and time, it does kind of look warpy like that. Okay, so it's just a sign that your gifts are opening up more and more. Okay, and when we get into the challenge, I'm just going to teach you how to ground, psychic protection, fill in with your own energy, and that kind of stuff will happen. The key at this stage is like just accept it, like it's just part of it. Like even for me, when I do get 333s or think of someone and they call. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, of course, it's normal. I'm not at stage one anymore where it's like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, I just accept it now. Okay. Ashley, do you know what the constant butterflies and feathers mean? Yeah, I'm gonna cover this more in the challenge, but when things repeat in general, whether it's butterflies, dragonflies, feathers, coins, 333s, dreams, when things repeat like that, basically it's spirit trying to get your attention. All right. And like for me, when the street lights just kept turning off, I'm like, is that my grandmother? All right. Street light turned off again. Is that my grandmother? Street light turned off again. Is that my grandmother? Literally, once I got the training, right? Because like I said, I was gifted as a child, but it wasn't until I was an adult I learned how to hone my gifts finally. And when I got to the training, I'm like, okay, yes, that's my grandmother. And then I asked my grandmother, What's your message? And she's like, oh, I just wanted to let you know I've been watching over you. From that very day forward, street lights don't turn off for me anymore. Okay? So for you, Ashley, and for everyone else, if things are repeating over and over and over again, A, you might not be getting the message yet. And B, even if you get the message, you might not have gotten it completely yet. So even for my grandmother, I kept getting, yes, it was my grandmother, but her message to me was, I just wanted to let you know I've been watching over you. Okay? So when they're constant like that, whether they're butterflies or feathers, there's some kind of message that you just haven't gotten yet, or even some lesson. All right, Charlene, how do you read auras? Great question. Charlene, stay tuned for the challenge, right? I literally teach you how to do that on day 3 and 4. Okay? But the quick answer is don't expect to see energy the way that, like you're seeing me on the video right now. When you see energy clairvoyantly, it's kind of like how you would see things out of the corner of your eye, peripherally, and it's going to appear not clear, not crystal clear. Okay, so don't have that expectation. I'll tell you, like when I coach some of my students, I ask them, like, so what do you see in your mind's eye? And like, I don't see anything, right? I go, okay. So imagine like you're looking out of the corner of your eye, like you're daydreaming, and what shows up for you now? And then the student goes, I still don't see anything. But I see like this little flash of yellow that showed up. It looks like an orb. And I'm like, so you are seeing something? She goes, oh yeah, okay. I go, that's how you saw that? That's how you see it. And the thing is, the student was expecting to see it like crystal clear. It's like, no, that's not how they show up. When they show up in your clairvoyance, like I said, it's more like looking at the periphery. Now, there are times when you will get a crystal clear picture, but it doesn't always happen that way. So it's like learning a new language. It's like learning a new way of relating and seeing energy. Okay? So stay tuned for the challenge. Brittany, I'm excited for the challenge. Awesome. Kathy, how do I get the weight off? Yeah, ground, right? Just release, ground, and release. At least on the energy side of things, it's actually not really hard to release and let go of energy. So that's one side of it. Then in the practical world, you do what you need to do to, eat right and eat the right kinds of food, all of that. Okay. Let's see. Ashley, do you have a link for the Beyond Stage 3 program? Completed the 5-day challenge 3 weeks ago. Okay, yeah, Ashley, I'll message you directly. Okay, Ashley. We'll get you the link to that. Let's see. Melissa, how to lower spirit's vibration other than asking? That hasn't worked. Melissa, sometimes you just have to give them an ultimatum. It's like either you follow my rules or you don't get any communication from me. And you notice I'm firm like that, right? That's how I am with the world of spirit. My body, my temple. Follow my rules or you don't get anything from me. And here's the thing. One of my teachers said that for every being with a body, there's like 50 beings without a body. And it actually takes a lot of energy to have a body, right? It takes a lot of energy for spirit to manifest a body. Just get that, okay? So for all these beings that, they think they could control or you think they are in control, actually they're not. You are the senior being because you were able to manifest a body, okay? So when I hear students say stuff like, oh, it hasn't worked, really what's going on is you haven't laid down the rules firmly enough. Okay? And, like I said, for me, when I used to live near the hospital, ears ringing all the time, literally, how many people are dying at a hospital every day? Like every night, that's how it was for me. But as soon as I laid down the rules, like I teach in my programs, I don't get ringing in the ears anymore. I just don't, right? On occasion I do. Like yesterday, I actually had a session with uh, a client of mine. He has a lot of trouble with beings, and there's one point I was working with him. I'm like, "Did you just hear what I said?" He goes, "No, the voices are coming back." I go, "I could tell because I was getting it was in my left ear." I was like, I could tell I was getting the ringing in my ears, and I told him I don't get ringing in my ears, right? So it's real, right? And of course, I had to tell whatever that energy was. I'm like, go away. And then within, I don't know, like 30 seconds, the ringing stopped. Okay. So, Melissa, my sense of the energy of your question, when you say it hasn't worked, this is where the practice of seniority comes into play. Okay. And that takes practice. It takes practice. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay. Uh, Charlene says, seeing orbs and shadows in my peripheral. Yeah, that's usually how people see things. Um, Blaze, how can I actually hear spirit? So same thing as my explanation of seeing energy. When you hear spirit, don't expect to hear it like you're hearing my voice right now. My experience is like it's like hearing something off in the way distance. Like, did I hear that? Did I actually hear something? But clearly you got a message and like the words just come to you. And for me it's like a cross between like a higher knowing and a higher hearing, if that makes sense. Um, so literally, it's like learning a new way to hear. Okay. Really, all clairvoyances, it's like a new way to see. Clairaudience, a new way to hear. Right. But here's the thing, you guys. You guys have already been experiencing it, but you're at that stage 1 and 2 where you're like, that's coincidence or that's not real. Okay. When you get to the beyond stage, that's where you're like, oh yeah, okay, that's happened before. Now you get more into where you just like, okay, I'm not going to try so hard anymore. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. Brittany, I'll be on maybe about 5 more minutes, you guys here. So let me answer as many questions as I can before we go. Brittany, a few days ago, my inner voice randomly said it's too strong for her. I immediately knew it wasn't me saying that. Good for you, Brittany. That's awesome. Could that be my guides? Is that a download? I haven't gotten any message but I think because I'm trying too hard to figure out what it meant. Yeah, that there's a lot there that you just said, Brittany. That's all of it's true. Okay. Um, Here's the thing though, is spirits are like people. Okay. Don't believe everything a spirit says to you. Very similar to how don't just believe everything even people tell you. Even if your best friend was like, hey, you would look great in an orange dress, and like say your orange is like you don't like the color orange, and your friend's like, you would look great in an orange dress. And I'm totally making up this example. It might be the worst example, right? But would you do that? Would you wear an orange dress just because your best friend told you? It's like, no, I don't even like orange. Same thing for the world of spirit, okay? Some spirit, yes, they have your best interests at heart, but not all spirit gets you, okay? So if you got this message, oh, it's too strong for her, check in with yourself, check in with your own inner spirit, your own inner wisdom about it all, and ask yourself, is that true for me or not? Is it really true? Is it really too strong? Okay. And if it is, right, if it really is too strong, maybe you're not ready for it yet. Okay, great. But if you sense like it's some being or spirit that's trying to hold you back, then that's a whole other story. Okay. The fact of the matter is, though, when you start getting into stage 3, okay, and this might be a more of an advanced topic, but where a lot of people get stuck in stage 2 is they have old spiritual contracts and old spiritual agreements with beings from the past. Okay, I'm talking about beings from past lives, family agreements, family beings, generational energies that will tell you you're not allowed to move forward. And the fact of the matter is, you're a being of great power. You don't need to let anyone tell you you're ready or not. Okay. That's up to you to declare. That's up to you to decide. And when you really do, that's when you really start owning your own power. That's where you're really saying to the universe, like, I know who I am. And then once you get to that stage, it's also part of the beyond stage. That's when like a whole other level of spirit starts coming to you, helping you out, giving you new downloads, new information. Like I'm telling you guys, that beyond stage is really exciting. It's really powerful when you can get to that stage. And that's my goal for all of you guys. Okay. Don't be stuck in stage 1, 2, or 3. Get to the beyond stage. That's when the real excitement happens, you guys. Okay. Anyway, sorry, that's my long answer there, but I'm just channeling you guys. So whatever comes through, that's what's meant to come through. um, Kathy, lights would flicker and not many feathers anymore. Holly, this is exciting. Lakia, what do you do if your spirit guides communicate with you through numbers? Yeah. So great question, Lakia. First of all, good for you for realizing that it's a spirit guide coming through, right? Um, the best thing you can do, and you'll learn more about this in day 4 of the challenge, by the way, but let me just give you all a preview now. The best thing you could do is pause when that first comes to you. So for example, for me, the street lights. I remember one day the street light turned off for me yet again, and I stopped. I was standing underneath the street light that was off, right? I stopped. I literally just stopped. I'm like, okay, what is it? And then I remember just kind of letting something come to me. This was more intuitively. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, right? But intuitively, I was like, let me just stop real quick. Let me just check in. And then the first thing that came to me was like, that's my grandmother. Okay. So, Lakia, and this is for everyone, always go with that first thing that comes to you. And usually it's like a relative, a spirit guide. You're okay. That's the right step. That was the right move. Keep going. Don't stop. Like those are usually things at like this stage of 333s. Those are the typical messages, right? And like I said, check in with yourself. What does your intuition say? And then just go with that first thing. Okay? All right, so great question. Justin, I see color with my eyes closed. I was told that's part of being psychic. Yes. And that's actually what I teach in all my training. I'm going to have you close your eyes a lot, right? And I teach you how to meditate, which by the way, it's an active meditation. It's not a passive meditation, meaning you're not sitting there for hours. You're going to just keep following along with the sound of my voice. I guide you. And then what's great is like it's only 20 to 30 minutes total, these meditations. So they're not like these long drawn out meditations at all. Okay. But yes, what I teach is I teach you to close your eyes because when your eyes are open, it's actually really distracting. Like you're just looking at everything. And whereas when your eyes are closed, okay, then you don't have all the distraction. It's actually easier to see that way. Okay, Katie says rad. Charlene, I see yellow, green with my eyes closed. Awesome. So Charlene, what you can do next is ask yourself, what does that mean? And then literally go the first thing. Melissa, I can see energy as I also see outlines. Yes, that is normal. Outlines, silhouettes, those are common things to look for. And when we get in the challenge, I'll share with you more things to look for. Okay. Let's see, Lakia. Okay, yep, I answered that with the numbers already. Let's see. Kathy says, okay, ground release is what I was missing. Okay. I get fluid clog feeling in ears. Yep, that happens. Sinuses can get clogged up too, especially if you often talk telepathically. Like it's important to clean out your telepathic channels often. Let's see. I've gotten buzzing white noise in my right ear for over a week now. Stops for a short time, but usually all the time now. What do I do? How do I decipher it? So Melissa SD, same thing. When things are constant like that, spirit really is trying to get your attention. So just like I described, I forgot who I was talking to now. With the lowering of the vibration and all that, Sometimes you just got to tell them, hey, you could keep buzzing all you want, but I don't understand you. All right. And when you make that clear to spirit, it's kind of like when people talk to each other and like someone will raise their voice thinking you're going to understand better. It's like you can start raising your voice all you want. It doesn't mean I'm going to understand you more. Right? So you have to literally talk telepathically to these spirits, be like, keep ringing, but it doesn't make me understand you more. Okay? And again, you might think you're crazy. That's all part of stage 1 and 2. You might think you're crazy because you're talking telepathically to some unseen thing, right? But that's what it takes sometimes, okay? You got to put your foot down. We call it seniority. My body, my temple. All right, don't enter my temple unless you follow my rules. Okay, that's what it takes. But the how to decipher it, sorry, I didn't get to your question. The how to decipher it piece of it all is to pause, like I said, with the whole streetlight thing, pause, and then just go with the first thing. Okay, what is your message? What does it mean? Go with that first thing that comes to you intuitively. Okay, it might come from your higher knowing as to what it means, and just go with that first thing. Okay, and often we brush it off as coincidence. Like I brushed off for years thinking that was my grandmother, even though I thought it literally 10,000 times. Right, that's my grandmother. That's my grandmother. But I kept pushing it off. Right, so don't push it off anymore. All right, Justin. I get voices late at night if I'm just barely awake, but only then, and it's like trying to overhear a conversation at a busy restaurant. Yes, that's a great way to describe it. For many, that is the experience. Okay, let's see. And you see some of you corresponding with each other. Teresa had the numbers question. I already answered that earlier, which by the way, if some of you are just catching this, the replay, as soon as I come off, the replay will be available almost immediately. Carlola, I am empathic. I can taste lower vibe energy here. Lately, it's been constant. Yeah, some people can smell, like I've had, like, I forgot who it was. Like whenever her grandmother would come by, she would smell her perfume. I've had clients like, oh, I know my uncle's near. I could smell his cigarette and no one's smoking near me. Like, that's just another form of picking up on energy. Ashley, when it's a spirit lets you know something and it's validated, how do you proceed? Yeah, just telepathically talk to them. Just have a conversation like you and I are talking. Well, like I said, I'm mostly doing the talking, but yeah, telepathically have a conversation with them. All right, and play with it. A lot of people just take this stuff too seriously, and this is one thing I'm going to cover. Yeah, probably in the next pre-training. If you take the stuff too seriously, the moment you take the stuff too seriously is the moment your psychic gifts will turn off. Okay, that's just how it works. All right, let's see. Kathy, 2010, leaving work, crossing a parking lot. I stopped to look to my left, said, wow, he's not slowing down. I stood still and he swerved. If I had walked faster, he would have hit me. Yeah, stuff like that happens. Melissa says, awesome, thank you. You're welcome. All right, a couple more here and then we'll call it a day. Let's see, Justin, this might be off the wall a bit, but are goosebumps felt from a song connected to spirit at all, or just energy of the song itself? Anybody feel free to add input. Yeah. Goosebumps are actually another sign. I've had, growing up, a friend of mine, she was actually in hospice. So she saw people dying like literally every day. But every time like a spirit was about to pass, right? That person was about to die, she would get goosebumps. That was like she knew that person was about to die. Okay. Which, by the way, I want y'all to get this. Like, that sounds scary, right? But like anything, when it's more familiar, it happens enough times, then it's not scary anymore. It's like what you expect. Okay. And when you know what to expect, then it's not so scary anymore. Okay. Whereas when things are like you're still in stage 1 and stage 2, it's scary because you don't know what to expect. All right. So that's yet another part of the beyond stage there. Okay. So any great questions here. All right, you guys. The other two are just comments. So thanks for joining me, you guys. This is all I have for today. So let me just remind you two things: that the actual challenge starts on 10/10, October 10th at noon Pacific, which is a Sunday, and we go live for the quick kickoff, and then we go live each evening. So those are going to be Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. I teach you something new each day, and then full disclosure, right? If you love what you learned during the training on day 5 of the challenge, that's where I introduce you to my more advanced training, talking about all the beyond stuff. I'll show you exactly what that looks like. So in case you want to sign up for that, that's where, yes, there is an investment into that program. But my goal, my intention for you is that I'll give you all the stuff for free to start. You'll love what you learn. You get to know me. You get to trust me, right? And then, I know a lot of people that's important before they decide to invest their time, their money, their effort into anything. So, my hope is that you enjoyed today's pre-training. Tomorrow I'm doing another live training where I'm actually doing a reading for the public. So if you're not part of the group yet, be sure to join the group. And then I'm going to do one more pre-training, you guys. I don't have the schedule yet. I want to say either Wednesday or Thursday. I want to wait till a few more people join, and then I'll do the final pre-training probably on Thursday, you guys. And then we actually go live, okay? We go live, Unleash Challenge on Sunday the 10th. All right, you guys. Well, that is all I have for today. Thanks again for joining me. Let me just read a few last comments here. Katie says, loving this. Thank you. Ashley says, thank you. Justin Sinclair, thanks, Joe. Great live. Awesome, you guys. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for participating. Loved having you here. Let me just love a few more of these comments before I go. All right, you guys, many blessings. I'll see you tomorrow if I see you tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you at the next pre-training. All right, you guys. See you later.